Lisa, we as people of the true Christ believers need to let one know when they are wrong so they can go on the straight path, not the wrong path. So Lisa, please listen to what I have to say. Creator God has only one word, and that is the KJV. Look into all the others, and you will see they will lead you to a place you do not want to be. I I don't know what book you are used to, but here are the ones I have. So let's look into what books I do have. This is what you had to say in the book that you read.
About it. Because we know, biblically speaking, in Daniel chapter 9, verses 27, it states this. He, speaking of the Antichrist, whoever that is, will make a treaty with the people of Israel, and I'm adding Israel, for a period of one set of 7. But after half this time, about 3.5 years, he will put an end to sacrifices and offerings. So we know, according to Daniel chapter 9:27, that there will eventually be a peace treaty signed with the Antichrist, whoever he is, with the nation of Israel. Now,
You have to interpret what that word is. It does not interpret itself. You cannot make a treaty with anyone if there's already been one, a covenant. We will look at the KJV, but it is with many. That means a large number. Offering, that is a gift or a contribution. Obligation means offering, sacrifice, peace offering, burnt offering, gift of thanks, first fruit, and liberation. Now this is two different types of words, one with a lesser meaning. Here they all are. And he must keep the covenant in force for the many for 1 week. At the half of the week, he will cause sacrifice and gift offerings to cease. And upon the wing of disgusting things, there will be the one causing desolation, and until an experimentation, the very thing decided upon will go pouring out also upon the one lying desolate. This is longer than what the KJV, and it changes the words. There is a difference between keeping a covenant and confirming a covenant. And in the KJV, it doesn't mention anything about a wing. So it has to be the Antichrist is writing this. He will confirm a covenant with many for 1/7. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to sacrifice and offering. And on a wing of the temple, he will set up abomination that causes desolation until the end that is decreed is poured out on him. This is closer, but it does leave out a lot of information. He will confirm a covenant with many for 1/7. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to sacrifice and offering. And on a wing of the temple, he will set up an abomination that causes desolation until the end that is decreed is poured out on him. Let's look at the is decreed is poured out on him. And in the KJV, that is determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Now the desolate could be more than just a him. That leader will make an agreement with many for 7 years. He will put a stop to offering and sacrifice after 3.5 years. And the honorable thing that destroys will be placed on the high point of the temple. But God has ordered him to be destroyed. Again, You cannot make an agreement when there is already an agreement, which is called a covenant. And in the KJV, it could be for a literal week, not a 7-year period. And again, poured out upon the desolate. It could be more than one. For 1 week he shall make a firm compact with many. Half the week he shall abolish sacrifice and oblation. On the temple wing shall be the horrible abomination until the ruin that is decreed is poured out upon the horror. This is misleading because it says a firm compact, and in the KJV, and it shall confirm the covenant for many. So this is not putting what needs to be the context, where the context needs to be. Horror, an intense feeling of fear, shock, or disgust. Desolation, a state of complete emptiness or desolation. Of course, these two does mean different things, but I do believe that it will be a horror, but we still need to keep the context with the context. And he will make a firm covenant with the many for 1 week, and in the middle of the week he will put a stop to sacrifice and grain offering, and on the wing of abomination will come one who makes desolate, even until a complete desolation. One that is decreed is poured out on the one who makes desolate. Here we have a grain offering. As far as I know, we do not sacrifice anymore, except for in the Freemasons. And what's up with the wing? Because what could it be, they're talking about the angels, the false angels that's fixing to come here on the earth. This king will make 7-year treaty with the people, but after that time he will break his pledge and stop the Jews from all their sacrifice and their offerings. Then, as a climax to all his terrible deeds, the enemy shall utterly defile the sanctuary of God. But in God's time and plan, his judgment will be poured out upon the evil one. That one was hard to read. But a pledge. A pledge is the condition of being given or held as a security for a conflict, a payment. So, are they being kidnapped? And as a climax to all his terrible deeds, I would say that he is terrible, but this does take it out of context. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the obligation to cease. And for the overspreading of abomination he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation that the determined shall be poured upon the desolate. He shall confirm the covenant. Therefore, there is a covenant already in process, already done, been written and signed. And for the overspreading of abomination, he shall make it desolate. In other words, it is because it is desolate, because it was overspread, that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. In other words, it is poured out upon it. In other words, it could come from heaven above, like being poured out of water. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. So, Lisa, we should not add to, and we should not take away. We should let the Word be the Word. Now let's look at another book, and I think I'm going to look at the Living Bible. And I solemnly declare to everyone who reads this book, if anyone adds anything to what is written here, God shall add to him the plagues described in this book. And if anyone subtracts any part of these prophecies, God shall take away his share in the tree of life and in the holy city just declared. Okay, the difference in heareth, H-E-A-R-E-T-H, is through your ears. And in the Living Bible, it is H-E-R-E. So there is two different types of hear. Okay, now we have, if any man shall take away the words of this prophecy. This is the prophecy that's talking about the words in the Living Bible, and if anyone subtract any part of these prophecies. Now we are not just talking about prophecies, we're talking about words. And the Word is Jesus Christ, and it is in John 1. So Lisa, this is from the heart. Please look into the books that you are reading and see which one has the real Spirit of Christ. The Bible says to test the Spirit and see if it is of Him. And as we can tell, these other books do not have the same Spirit as the KJV does. So please look into what I am saying to you. And I am saying this out of love. So be good, and thanks for all the hard work you do. Bye. People need wisdom in today's world. Please pass on for the world to see. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Thank you for watching and learning with me. Jesus is needed in all walks of life. May you be blessed in watching today.